Professional development insight. All right. All right. So here are 5 questions. We'll just go by one. And if you have any input or anything to say, it's kind of a open door policy. Say what you feel. If I can go to the next one. All right. So how do you feel about the professional development opportunities given at Morgan County R2?
I'll go. I think it depends on what like part of teaching you're in, because most of our PD is school-wide focused. So if you're in sort of a niche area, you're probably going to have to go look for PD that's meaningful to you on your own. Because not very often do we actually break up into groups, other than just building size groups to go to separate PD opportunities.
Okay.
I feel like we are encouraged to go to professional development, and I agree with Kyle that since I'm the librarian, a lot of the professional development maybe doesn't have to do with me specifically, so I have to go to conferences that are specific for me. So I mean, I don't think they're bad. I know a lot of the professional development is might be required. Like, you know, we always have to go through dyslexia training and you know, trauma informed and, you know, those kinds of things that we have to do, that everybody has to do. So I mean, I know that that's required, but I think we are encouraged to seek out other opportunities and given the chances to attend conferences on our own.
Okay. Hannah or Kobe, do you have anything for this question?
I was going to kind of talk about what Kyle said. I mean, we had PD this summer, and I feel like it was hard for PE teachers to kind of figure out how to incorporate some of the stuff we talked about in the classroom. So finding that relation and figuring out how you can use it in your classroom can sometimes be difficult if, you know, you're one of those weird teaching categories at the school. So sometimes it can be difficult to try to take something from certain sessions.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yep, I agree with that. There's one good thing that we started a few years back, letters training for the elementary, and I think that's been really beneficial. We go 4 times throughout the year for each unit, and you do it for 2 years. And then our school actually gives us 4 additional days to work on it, like in school, which not a lot of other schools do, which is very beneficial. So that's a really good thing that's happening.
Okay. On to question 2. When looking back at past professional development opportunities, what has made them effective or ineffective?
I can go. That's kind of like what we already touched on, but one thing we did, I don't know that we did it last year, but the year before last, they had like a little like grid of different professional development activities you could go to, and there were 2 or 3 going on at the same time, and you kind of got to pick what worked best for you, and I thought that worked really well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I've been to a lot of professional development where it's addressing a problem or a need for our school, and the speaker just talks about the problem or the need and doesn't really give us sufficient ideas to solve the problem or the need. They just talk about it.
Yeah.
And we already know what the problem is. We are there to look for ways to fix it, or and it seems like that seems to be seems to be frustrating to me, that I already know what the problem is. I don't need a definition of it. I need someone to come in and give us some training on how to work that problem and fix it. And I know you can't just come in and people just, I know that's easier said than done, but I think that would be more beneficial to have a speaker who come in and who would offer some help in solving a problem.
I agree.
It helps a lot too whenever speakers have like similar experiences to you. They've been in classrooms with a similar demographic, or they've had a similar problem that they have actually helped be a part in solving, and they've done these actionable things in their own classroom and have seen the results. I think it's easier to buy in whenever you get a speaker that's really shown that it can be done and they believe it.
All righty. We'll move on to question 3. Are there any professional development opportunities that have either been extremely beneficial to you or a waste of time?
I mean, extremely beneficial. Usually the ones that are PD opportunities I seek out myself, that are more focused on my content area or subject area. There's obviously been PD opportunities that are good, maybe for the district for a different area of teaching, but haven't really been beneficial or practical in my area. So again, I think that's one where it just kind of depends on who you are and what sort of things you're teaching or doing in the classroom.
Okay.
I'd say extremely beneficial. Not really for like professional development, but like going to coaches clinics. Because with me being a P and weights teacher, most of the coaches there also do the same thing. So that's where I find most of mine being more beneficial, just because we get to bounce around a lot of ideas whenever we're in between sessions and stuff. So
Yeah. I agree. All right. We'll move on to question 4. What areas do you feel you need the most improvement as a teacher, and what PD opportunities do you think would help you achieve these?
I think teaching the content specifically is not that's an area where I feel really strong. So maybe different ways to implement the content in the classroom that might increase engagement for students, or maybe ways to have students work more collaboratively with one another. Because I feel like that is a good way, especially because I work with younger kids. I feel like a lot of that collaboration aspect is a way to get some of those best ideas out of those kids, especially when there's someone who isn't confident in their abilities or isn't someone who's always had a good view about school. So I think ways to implement my content in more engaging and collaborative ways is something that I could definitely improve in.
All right. All right. If nobody else has anything, then we'll move on to question 5.
I'll go.
My bad. I'm sorry. Back to question 4.
Okay. No, I think being a librarian, I kind of feel like sometimes I'm just in a rut. And so kind of like Kyle said, I like to go to the content specific professional development, and meet with other librarians and talk about, the most recent, technology and other ways that, would make the library more inviting to students. Just those kinds of things. I think it does help to try and stay on top of things and what's working in other schools. And so going to, like Kyle said, again, going to professional development that would be most beneficial to me. Seeking it out rather than in large groups is going to be most beneficial to me personally.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on to question 5. What advice would you give the leadership team as they plan future professional development opportunities?
I think like at the end of the year, they always have a little survey of like which professional development benefited you the most and like what they could do in the future. And I think that's a really good thing. But then I feel like every year it's kind of the same thing over and over. So I think just taking like a deep dive into that data and kind of seeing like what benefits for our people the most and making a few changes if they need to.
Yeah, it's almost like they give the survey because they have to, but then they don't actually follow up on
Yeah.
the feedback that they get. All right, if that is it, I oh, I'm all right. Well, thank